Hello, hi students. Today is October 10th, 2024. We will be discussing the current affairs. But before that, we'll maintain silence for 10 seconds because of the death of the Ratan Tata. He great philanthropist who is an Indian. So just maintain 10 seconds silence. Okay. Now let's start our current affairs. See, today we are going to discuss Nobel Prize in Chemistry, mental health. October 10th is a mental health day. What is the theme and what is in its importance in current world? That is very important. Next is hurricanes. Next is nuclear submarines. First, we will go into the chemistry Nobel Prize. As we discussed day before yesterday, Nobel Prize in medicine, it is regarding the microRNA. Today, it is regarding the protein design and prediction of the structures. You may think why there is a need for giving a Nobel Prize for just a protein design. But it is very important. See, our entire body is made up of many types of proteins. If we know how is the protein design, and if we predict the structures, we can create designer proteins. These designer proteins, it will be helpful to treat few of the diseases or to cure some of the conditions. That's why it is very important. Next is which people got the Nobel Prize. First, that is that in any question when you are writing answer, first you should write who got. You just remember the name: David Baker, Demis Hassabis, and John Jumper. If you can't remember, at least remember like names David and Demis jumped. Like that, you can keep mnemonic. David and Demis jumped for the protein. Like that, you can remember your own way. So David Baker, Demis Hassabis, John jumped. So it is for the protein structure prediction. The word has to be very important. Protein structure prediction. First point, names. Second point, for what. Next is means what is the importance of this, means what did they do. First is these three people did not work together. This David Baker, he separately worked, and Jumper and then Demis, they worked separately. First, this Baker et al., he along with his colleagues or students, he found the way to create designer proteins. And it seems that he can almost construct any type of protein with his technology. For this, he got the Nobel Prize. And next is this both people, what they did is they developed an artificial intelligence model that is called Alpha 2. It could predict the structures of millions of proteins. Actually, our human scientists, they predicted the structure only for 1.7 lakh proteins. But this artificial thing, it can predict like almost millions of proteins. These 1. Lakh proteins, structures and everything, they feed it into the tap, and based on that, it gave all these millions of proteins. Very important, this AlphaFold, they can ask in exam, AlphaFold 2 is related to which? They can give 4 options in UPSC prelims. Remember this, it is related to protein. Why alpha means, next we will discuss, in proteins there are alpha, beta, gamma proteins. So like that, most of the important proteins in the body and everywhere are alpha. Next, rest all we don't read much. That's why AlphaFold 2. You can use this answer if this Nobel Prize thing comes, or any in your prelims it comes, or in mains also. Whenever you are writing artificial intelligence and its applications, you can write this protein structure wala thing. That also adds advantage for you, and the Nobel Prize also came now, so more advantage, more marks you can get. That is the thing. And with skillful use of artificial intelligence, they made it possible to predict the complex structure. And next, this unusual pattern, this thing, they said that these people, they did not work in like last year or something. They almost like 20-30 years back, they worked regarding this. And but see, in 2003, like that they work na. Even then they got the Nobel Prize now. They said that few works, even though they are discovered long back, their value will not be known during that time. Later on they will recognize and they will give them like awards like this. Like that they gave many examples of people who worked 30-20 years back for some work, and then later on they got Nobel Prize. That is not much important. Only this protein thing you should know names, and then what is the main, that is prediction of the structure of the proteins, and what is their work. One is like designer proteins wala thing, and another is artificial intelligence app, that is AlphaFold 2, artificial intelligence model. Next, basic science wala. See, we are science and tech classes, means there is no need to, whenever we tell some classes it will be bore separate science and tech, but daily whenever there is a news we will discuss one topic of the science and tech, and it will be all covered, and in the end what are the topics left out, then we can discuss. Just take your notes and then write regarding the proteins and amino acids thing. Proteins came na, so we will discuss this, comes under the basic science topic, proteins and amino acids. What are the proteins? Proteins are made up of multiple of amino acids. Then what is amino acid? Amino acid, they are organic compounds. They contain one amino group and one acidic group, that is COOH, like we can call it a carboxyl group also. One amino group and one carboxyl group centered around the carbon. This is an amino acids. See, there are in the body, almost, not body, everywhere, 500 amino acids. As you know, the permutation and combination type wala thing, if there are 500 amino acids, you can know that like multiple millions of proteins can be constructed based on their combinations. If one amino acid and one more amino acid is bonded, this is it is not a protein, but it is dipeptide. One amino acid, two are there, so dipeptide. If three amino acids are there, it is tripeptide. If there are multiples, then it is called polypeptide. If it is more than 100 amino acids, then we call it as a protein. But there are few exceptions, even if less than 100 also. For example, insulin. Even if it is insulin, it is anti-diabetic protein which is produced by the pancreas in our body. This insulin, even though it has just 51 amino acids, it is called a protein because of its structure, that configuration and everything. So remember, this is called peptide bond. One amino acid, another amino acid, that middle the bond will be, as you can read, like hydrogen bonds, sulfide bonds, like that. Mostly these are all the peptide bonds. Examples, hydrogen sulfide bonds, like that. Tree is called tripeptide, multiples polypeptide. More than 100 it is protein, even sometimes less than 100 also we call it as a protein. So now you got regarding the main why we have to study regarding the amino acids. So amino acids are organic compounds containing amino group and carboxyl group as a substituents on the same carbon. Amino acids are colorless crystalline solids. And there are many amino acids, alpha, beta, gamma and everything, but mostly main alpha is important. Glycine, these are all examples of an alpha amino acids based on this configuration. If they are like adjacent, like that alpha, and if it is far, based on that configuration of the carboxyl and amino group, this classification is made. And next is acidic, basic and neutral. This is also based on this only. This amino and carboxyl group is there. If it is both are equal in number, then it is neutral. If carboxyl group is more, it is acidic. If amino group is more, it is basic. See, don't think that why she is teaching all these. It is even very subtle, trivial things also is important in UPSC. See, few years back, they have given animal cells and plant cells which have more vacuoles. Regarding that question they have given. Sometimes common sense works, but in exam, because of tension, most of the time common sense doesn't works. That's why at least if you have read something, then your mind will be stable in exam. Yeah, I have read, and you try to remember that things. So it is better to prepare for everything. Next, acidic, basic, neutral, based on this I said. Next is essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids. Essential amino acids are which are not present in the body. Essential, they are essential for our body, but they are not there within us. We have to take by food, or you guys have protein powders and all those, or in few things there will be antioxidants. In fruits it will be, in fruits also there will be amino acids. Like that, externally we have to take, those are essential amino acids. Non-essentials are, they are present with in our body only. Next, in our body there are multiples of cells. What is the average composition of each cell? How much composition is formed by each thing? Most of our body is water only. When you get dehydrated, we get less weight. When you drink more water, your body will have more weight, like that. Our body is constituted of 70 to 90% of water. Next highest is protein. See, in entire muscles, even in skin and hair, the keratin, most of the thing is like next most common muscle, in muscle proteins will be. That proteins is 10 to 15%. Next is carbohydrates, 3%, lipids 2%, nucleic acid, the DNA and RNA wala thing 5 to 7%, and ions is 1%. Next, what is the protein structure? As I said, they are polymers of alpha amino acids. As 2 days back we studied in our current affairs that how proteins are formed. First, DNA has to form a signal and form RNA. From RNA, proteins are formed on the ribosome. Next is, what are the protein structure? There are 4 different structures: primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary. Nothing, if simple chain is there, that is primary structure. If something addition like turn, secondary structure. If it is so means so complex, tertiary. It is significantly complex and so much folded and everything is there, quaternary structure. It just different structures, that much only. Next, what is the most abundant protein in animal world? Collagen. Even in our skin also there will be collagen. See, when you get aged, collagen in the body reduces. Because of that you get the wrinkles. That's why people say have collagen tablets or protect collagen by eating fruits, like that. The skin, entire skin, like most important constituent is collagen. Next is rubisco. This ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, the most abundant protein in whole of the biosphere. That is also maybe important. Next is, what are the different classification of proteins? Is fibrous proteins, globular proteins. Fibrous proteins are like simple linear wala thing. Globular means spherical wala proteins. What are the examples of fibrous proteins? They are keratin and myosin. Fibrous, they are insoluble in water. See, fibrous means, you remember grass is a fibers, and spinach, whatever we eat, all those are fibers, like that. If you keep those in water, will they become soluble? No. That's why fibrous proteins are insoluble. Example is our hair, keratin. In muscle there is myosin. Next is globular proteins. These are spherical. They are soluble. See, globular means spherical. You remember the tablets wala thing. So they are soluble. And examples is insulin and albumin. Next, in our body, for every reaction, as you must have read in ATP, I don't know, science people must have read ATP, and every reaction in the body, it occurs by an enzyme. If glucose has to come to CO2 has to become C plus O, also there is a need of an enzyme. Like that, for everything there has to be an enzyme. All those enzymes are examples of the globular proteins. And next important concept you have to know is denaturation. What is denaturation of the proteins? See, if you heat any protein, or even chicken leg piece, you can think like that, or egg yolk will be and egg white will be. Egg white is most of the protein you will be studying and eating. So denaturation, remember that example. When you boil or increase the temperature of the protein, it changes its structure. That is like denaturation. It will be dead. Natural protein, it will become dead. That is denaturation. Even during denaturation also, the primary and secondary structures, as we studied here, they will be destroyed, but secondary and tertiary structure will be destroyed, but primary structure, it remains intact. Examples are coagulation of the egg white. coagulation of the egg white on boiling, it is a common example of denaturation. Another example is curdling of the milk, which is caused due to formation of the lactic acid by the bacteria present in the milk. Remember these two examples. If you are writing some SSC or some other lower exams, this thing they can ask examples of denaturation, or denaturation remains what in primary structure, it remains like that. Next, proteins and topic are done. That is very important. Just make a note and just revise before exam. That is done. And mental health day, October 10th. See, you must be knowing that importance of the mental health in the recent times. Earlier there was not this much stress because of work, but now there is so much of the stress. Today theme of World Mental Health Day is prioritizing mental health in the workplace. So there are two articles. I won't say go through the articles, but it is not for UPSC, but it is nice to read. Like they say that because of competitive world and consumerism and running for money and profit making, businesses or workplace profit making, we are forgetting our own well-being. In turn, it is affecting both productivity, our mental peace is affecting, and most of the people are doing suicides. See, here they have given example of two people in MNCs. They did suicide because of the work stress. Not only humans, even recently there was a news regarding a robot in China, that some corporate center or something. It died. It died means there is no life for that, but even then it got exhausted, it got failed like that because of the more work to the robot. Even the robots are dying means then humans also will be stressed out and they tend to die like that. You can write these examples in any mental health questions. Mostly nowadays there is a talk regarding the mental health. It is very important now, and there are few examples they have given, like Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. This you can use in essay, or you can make an essay over this topic. And next, this example fact, this as per Lancet, over 197 million people suffer from conditions such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and India is grappling with mental health epidemic. See, I'm not going through every topic, but you yourself read. It is not like teaching wala topic. It is just you have to write. And in UPSC, there was a question like, what do you mean by happiness in your own terms? Such questions in ethics it has given like that. This also, it can be a ethics question. Ethics question, people can't teach. It has to come on your own. So just see these articles, these both articles. It is very important. Like they have even given examples, like in Brazil and somewhere there are community gardens or community kitchens na. So people come there. Here they have given community gardens. It helped to remove work stress and connect people to people. They even said that nowadays, because of this running for money, people are not talking to each other, so they are becoming isolated and they could not share their problems. Because of that, they are getting mental health issues. And one more thing is social stigma. People don't come out to say that I am facing depression. People just keep that to themselves and it keeps piled up. So this is very important topic for everyone, and you can use they have given Weber, and even for sociology and psychology also, these two topics. Some people have optional sociology and psychology na psychology. Those people also, they can use these examples, and it will be useful for your answer writing also. Next, there is an Hurricane Milton. See, recently this is Gulf of Mexico. Last year UPSC they asked twisters. So this hurricanes also, it can be important. See, times runs out in Florida for its citizens to free Hurricane Milton. See, this part is the Florida. This side towards the Atlantic Ocean, it is Florida. Recently, your geography concepts are also over, so you must be knowing all this terminology. I won't go deep, but only I'll tell Hurricane Milton. It is a category 4 storm. in the Atlantic Ocean adjacent to the Florida. Just Hurricane Helena went, and then this Hurricane Milton came. So both hurricanes together, so it will be very difficult for them. These are the tropical storms. What are the names in Atlantic, adjacent to Atlantic and adjacent to America? This is hurricanes. In Pacific Ocean, typhoon, and Indian Ocean, cyclone. Next, what is the scale which is used for Saffir-Simpson for hurricane wind is Saffir-Simpson scale. As earthquake has different Richter and Mercalli scale, here also you have Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Based on 1 to 5, highest wind is 5, and there will be more damage. Lowest is like very dangerous winds, it produce some damage. Next, this economy topics are also important. Just go, recently you completed your economy, now take the notes and read what is the repo rate and why this rate is like neutral. What is the significance if it is neutral? See, now RBI did not change, it just kept neutral. And it warns of action of on NBFC growing aggressively at any cost. They have to like control NBFC, that there is high chance that next year means you can get a question on NBFC. Go refer your NBFC. I just kept this article because there is a terminology called push effect. What is push effect? In inflation you must be reading push inflation. That go and read, it is very important. That's why I kept this. And here they have given that this RBI, the Shaktikantas, he said that he compared inflation earlier as elephant, now as horse or something. So people asked, why did you refer like that? He just said there is nothing difference. Earlier I used elephant, this time I'm using horse. The reason is it is a war against inflation. And in a war, both elephants and horses are used historically. Like generally he used, people asked like that. So remember that. And one more, go to your static notes and read what is MPC. Monetary Policy Committee, how many members constitute, who is the chairman, and how many months or like when, at what frequency they meet, and what are the decisions they are going to take. This is all static topic. Go to your economy notes, it will be a revision for you. Go read. Next, this is science and tech topic. It comes under the defense technology. In defense technology also, you know, the defense is made up of army, air force and navy. This comes under the navy technology. See, the news is Cabinet Committee on Security, it cleared the deal for MQ-9B high altitude long endurance. These are, what is HAIL, they can ask in prelims. It is an unmanned aerial vehicles. It is from USA we are taking. And also for indigenous construction of 2 nuclear attack submarines. For these we got approval. So they have given INS Arigat, INS Arihant. Now we will be studying what are those. See, this also we are not going to discuss again. Just take your notes, write. Nuclear submarines will be done here. So what is a nuclear submarine? Nuclear submarine means it is not like you will have a nuclear weapon over that. It may or may not have a nuclear weapon. It is just a naval. I hope you know what is a submarine. Submarine means ocean or water. Sub means under that the vehicle. A vehicle which is used over the water or under the water, that is known as submarine. It is a naval vessel that uses a nuclear reactor to power its propulsion. This is very important. There are 2 types of submarine, that is diesel powered and other is nuclear powered. Nuclear powered is nuclear submarine. It's not like you have nuclear missiles, that is nuclear submarine. Next, how do it power? By the fission of the uranium fuel, the motor runs. And there are 2 types of nuclear submarines. One is, if the nuclear submarine carries the nuclear warheads, it is SSBN. See, SSBN. B means ballistic, nuclear ballistic missile. Ship submersible ballistic nuclear. Otherwise, if it is normal without nuclear missile, that is ship submersible nuclear. That much only. It is a nuclear powered attack submarine. Next, You have to know these differences. One is ballistic weapon will be, one is nuclear powered attack. These SSNs we don't make, means we take but we don't make. SSBN we make. Next slide we will get. What are the advantages of these submarines? Endurance, speed. Endurance means long days they can run only with that fuel, but crew will be enough for them. Food is needed, so they come to the land, but normally it can go as long as like 30 days or more than that maybe. Next, speed, it goes more knots. Next is strategic advantage, like any defense technology, it is like power to the country and other countries get scared, na? Like that, it is strategic advantage to India. It completes our India's nuclear triad. Nuclear triad means in army, air and navy there are nuclear weapons or nuclear technology. That is nuclear triad. Next is disadvantages. Because of it is easily detectable. See, mostly if there is stealth technology, like if it is undetectable, then it is advantage to us. But these are nuclear, na, so they will release heat. Because of that heat, water moves. Because of that, other countries or other ships, they can detect the sonar waves or water and heat, and these submarines are easily detectable. That is their disadvantage. Why? Because of release of the heat. That heat makes the water move, and that sound waves will be detected by opposite vehicle. Next, these are expensive. Obviously, nuclear is there expensive, and it is large size to accommodate the fuel and everything. And there are many previous accidents. What are those accidents? Just examples are K-19 incident in 1961, USS Treasure disaster in 1963, and Kursk explosion in 2000. You can write these examples also. Mostly mains question it won't come, but for understanding base you should know all this. Next, as we said, SSN means there will be no nuclear warhead, that is no missiles will be, just nuclear power attack submarine. What are the examples is Charlie 1, that is INS Chakra, INS Chakra 2, INS Chakra 3. And all these three are taken from the Russia only. INS Chakra, that is Charlie 1 class, it is served in the Indian Navy from 1987 to 1991. In next, Chakra 2. In 2012, India signed 1 billion deal to get more Akula. See, first is Charlie 1 class, Akula. I don't think these are important, but just remember INS Chakra 1 and 2. This is from Russia. In 2012, we signed. And to the third chakra 3 to be delivered by 2025. See, UPSC don't ask this thing mostly because these are not indigenous. Mostly they will ask SSBN wala questions because they are indigenous. And what is the significance or overall submarines is it completes nuclear triad, as I said, and it will reduce the import because of indigenous. We are preparing SSBN and strategic autonomy. And what are the challenges? There are budgetary, as we studied, it is expensive and it takes long time also to make. You can see that next INS Arihant, it took almost 20 years from the start of the project to the induction into the Navy. Such delays occurs and no indigenous SSN. These are the challenges. Next, coming to the SSBN. What are the examples is Arihant and Arigat. S2, S3. These are under the control of PM Office and Strategic Nuclear Command, which oversee their construction, testing and status. What is the project under which we make these nuclear ballistic missile submarines, or ATV project? What is ATV project? This is Advanced Technology Vessel Project. It is launched in 1980 to make India to show our technology, leading to Arihant class submarines. These are all Arihant class submarines, remember. This S2, remember S2 is Arihant, other is Arigat. This is the first indigenous nuclear ballistic missile submarines developed, and it launched in 2009, commissioned in 2006. Actually it got commissioned in 2016. 2009 2016, almost like it took around 10 years, no? So it is so much time, that's why. It has double hull with advanced sensors, periscopes, and various weapon system. I don't think all these are important. If you can read what is the speed, and these are important. It carries missiles. What are the, see, in exam they can ask what is Arihant. In options they'll give it is a missile, it is an air craft carrier, or else they can give that third option they will give submarine. You should know that it is an submarine. And like this K-15, what is K-15 they can ask. It is a missile. K-15, K-4, these are all the missiles. As we said, there's these ballistic missile submarines, they will be equipped with missiles. What are the missiles are? There are 12 K-15 Sagarika missile and 4 K-14 missiles. It is almost around range of 750 kilometers, 350 kilometers, land-based missiles. And K-14 is a variant of the Agni 3. Sorry, K-4 is a variant of the Agni 3 missile, and K-15 a variant of the Shaurya missile. You have to remember these names. At least if K is there, it is a missile. That though at least you should know. And next is INS Arigat. This is S3. It is an upgraded variant of the Arihant class submarine. It is also under this ATV project, and it can carry more number of missiles. Here 12 and 4 are there. It will be carry a bit more. And future projects are S4 and S5. They are planning to make S4, S5. They will carry more missiles when compared to these two. Why these are all required is Navy, because of so many Indian Ocean issues and Pacific Ocean issues and all these, we need this to complete the nuclear triad. And remember, these names are important. Have science and technology book. In that, add in defense technology, nuclear submarines, or just submarines. In that you can add this, because see, these are all you have seen now also, so much to remember. If you deal all these in one, see, geography, economy, it is concept based, so you don't get bored because you try to understand a concept. But these are all like, there is no concept in this, most of the names only. So in one class, if we deal with all these things, your mind will get heated up. So whenever in current affairs some comes, you can read, and in the last we will just compile up in one single session. That will be better. Thank you.